Hey there, guys, it's controversial here. Now, today I want to talk about the Paul brothers and how they are ruining not only like the sports industry, but mainly they're ruining boxing. They're ruining boxing and they're making the UFC look like a joke. But like boxing specifically, I used to have so much respect for boxers and MMA as brothers are fighting and about how they are fighting athletes now and whatnot. And I feel like this trend is really ruining the sports industry because what's next? Are YouTubers going to start playing in the NFL or the NBA? Or is someone gonna tell Lewis Hamilton, hey Lewis Hamilton, you suck at driving. I bet I can drive better than you. Like, no one has respect for anything anymore, specifically people with money. Like, people need to understand that influencers are probably one of the most disrespectful people, especially knowing Logan Paul and Jake Paul's history of the stuff they have done in the past. People need to understand that, like, boxing and fighting, being an athlete is not easy. And the fact that the Paul brothers are ruining boxing and MMA, like, and the UFC. No, not MMA. I mean the UFC. Let's just say, because it's like the amount of disrespect and lack of respect they have for the sport is insane. Because these are people who've only started training recently, and the worst part about it is that they are exposing a huge void in MMA and damn it, I mean in the UFC and boxing. Most of these people are broke. I remember even Michael Jai White spoke about how spoke to DJ Vlad on the Vlad YouTube channel, Vlad show, whatever it's called. He said that I think Dana White or the UFC approached him about fighting in the UFC because Michael Jai White is one of the greatest martial artists in the world currently. He's one of the greatest martial artists. He has so many black belts and everything. So he said that he was approached by the UFC and he turned them down because he said that the UFC doesn't pay their fighters well. He said that the UFC doesn't pay their fighters well and they don't make a lot of money. Like, when it comes to being a fighter and an athlete, the more you win, the more money you make. That's literally as plain and simple and as blank as I can be. The more fights you win, the more money you make. Because in the UFC, if you're not an Israel Adesanya, if you're not a Hall of Fame, I don't know, Floyd Mayweather, I don't know, I think he just wanted bragging rights and to make money. But the fact that these guys are gonna turn into sellouts just to make, like, I feel so disrespected and let down for actually looking up to these people. Like, Floyd Mayweather has been rich and until he filed for I think he filed for bankruptcy at one point, and then he made his money back again. But like, for real though, like, it's shocking what people will do for money. It's shocking what people will do for money. And the Paul brothers are ruining the sport and are exposing the sport industry and it's specifically the athletes. Like, Tyron Woodley and Floyd Mayweather are probably the biggest sellouts in the history of the sports industry. I don't know about anyone else, but to me these guys are sellouts, and I'll make a video about that. But the Paul brothers have so much money. The Paul brothers have so much money that they're using their money to manipulate the sport. This is why no one respects boxing anymore. Like, the UFC is still fine. The UFC is still fine, yes. But like, this is why nobody respects boxing anymore. The Paul brothers are making boxing and boxers look like a bunch of cowards. Literally. Like, they're making boxers look soft. And they are ruining the UFC and they are ruining the boxing. Because I can't remember the last time I actually watched a boxing match, and I haven't watched a boxing match in a long time. And then you have these two Paul brothers throwing their money everywhere, manipulating the sport, bribing people, doing all of these things just to win matches. Like, this is why you find that most of the fights they have end up in split decisions instead of when they lose. Like, Tyron Woodley beat the hell out of Jake Paul on the first fight, and I think Jake Paul still won because he said he landed more shots and whatnot. I don't know. You see, these guys are manipulating the sport. They are paying off judges, they are paying off promoters, they are ruining the sport for everyone, and this needs to stop. They need to be blackballed and kept away from the sports industry, specifically with the boxing. Boxing is worth so much money, and these guys are making a mockery of the sport, and I don't like this. I used to have so much respect for Floyd Mayweather. I don't even know who Tyron Woodley is. Like I don't even know, because I don't really watch the UFC, because the UFC you need to pay a subscription. I don't really have the money for that. But like, Floyd Mayweather is someone that I grew up as a kid respecting. This guy is talented, but it's crazy to see what people will do just for money. Like, I remember I checked a comment, I think it was on TikTok, on YouTube, about someone saying the Paul brothers are exposing these broke fighters about how they're broke. That's why they're fighting with these fools. That's why most of them are taking dives and headbutting punches and whatnot. These guys are faking all of this because Tyron Woodley was champion at one point, and now he's getting punched by some YouTuber, X-Vine, Musically, whatever star. Is this the level of athlete that the boxing and the UFC really has to offer? Because I think even Ben Askren was banned from the UFC for what happened with the whole Logan Paul and from what happened with the whole Jake Paul and with the whole Jake Paul fight. It's kind of sad to see that this is the state of people these days. People will do anything for money. I bet you people, like, when it comes to the Paul brothers, these guys are paying off these athletes. They are paying them to take dives, to take punches, to not train. These guys, like the Paul brothers, are worth millions. They are multi-millionaires. The Paul brothers are worth millions. They are multi-millionaires. So it's no surprise. It's no surprise that they would be able to manipulate the sport. Because as of this video, Logan Paul is worth 35 million, and I'm reading this now. Logan Paul is worth 35 million, and so like, yes, Logan Paul is worth 35 million, and Jake Paul is worth 30 million. So as a collective, they're worth 60 million as a brand, because they are brothers, so they basically a together brand. So these guys are worth a good considerable amount of money. They are worth a pretty good amount of money. 30 million. They are worth more money than a lot of celebs. So like, it's no surprise that they would be able to use their money and their status to boost everything. But for real though, these people are influencing the sport and they are manipulating the sport, and they need to be stopped. I'm sick and tired of seeing these guys and these athletes take dives just because they're not making enough money. Like, is that really how much you respect the sport who made you who you are? You train so hard just to get knocked out by some fool. Really, I'm so disappointed in Tyron Woodley and Floyd Mayweather. But Floyd Mayweather did it for the money. Let's just be honest. Like, he did it to, I don't know. But Tyron Woodley, I thought Tyron Woodley would have actually knocked him out. I thought he would have. But anyway, like, Tyron Woodley is just a clown. Tyron Woodley is a clown. He's a straight up clown. The Paul brothers are ruining boxing and they're ruining UFC. So I'm not really happy about this. But anyway, guys, this is Controversial signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.